I'm head of technology at Coastal Community Bank. We're a community bank based in Everett, Washington, and also serving a bunch of customers across the country through our banking as a service partners. Well, I think the answer is a wishy-washy, it depends. This feels like 1995 all over again, where people are like, hey, there's this new shiny thing, and should we be a part of it or not? Why would I want a web page? What on earth would I even do with it? If you're still asking yourself those kind of existential questions, you probably don't yet have really a theory proposed about how am I going to interact with my customers differently. So I would start there before trying to get to the solution of how to do that. It's all about thinking, where can I go and meet my customers where they are, and how can I drive a different kind of engagement that's meaningful to them? That's what resonates with us. But I would encourage all financial institutions to start back at that point with the customer, and where can you meet them to drive better engagement? Well, I think you need to consider what kind of internal capabilities do you have? Do you have any partners in your ecosystem that are particularly strong in this area? Do you even know really how to think about the mindset of the customer? Again, if you're kind of starting at ground zero there, you probably want to reset your thinking. Focus on the customer first versus the outcome. And actually you'll end up driving yourself to the right space. I think tools are making this much more accessible than they ever used to be, so don't be afraid to experiment. Make sure that you're designing those in a low-risk way, right? We're all risk-averse bankers after all, but don't be afraid of that. I can see a couple things happening because, there's been some tectonic shifts not only in the financial services vertical, but in the technology industry as a whole in the last 6 months. So some are going to get distracted by the shiny new generative AI object and throw all of their investment behind that. So I think that's going to be potentially a distraction for a few folks that maybe were focused more on the tool than the outcome of engagement. And I also think some are going to be concerned about where they're putting in their investment dollars, rightly so, and maybe pausing or canceling projects. We see it probably on the flip side. Double down and now's the time to build, if I can borrow some famous language there. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. For us though, we see it as provide value and the value will eventually come back to you. And I think customers are wise enough to sniff out if you've got some sketchy way that you're trying to make money off the back of them, they will not be interested. So you need to be focused on the customer, understanding how they engage. If you can provide value in that experience, the money will come back to you eventually in that kind of shared value, trusted ecosystem. Those points are really important to us. I think it's not the single definition. There's no one metaverse to rule them all. I think you need to experiment with the ones that will touch the community that's important to you. How can you bring that place of engagement closer to them in the places that they're going to spend their time? We're fundamentally all competing for that mind share and time in the mind with the likes of Netflix or Xbox Live. So you need to be designing it in a way that it's interesting enough for the customers to come back, but I also don't think that we should all be chasing vanity metrics like, I've got all of this engagement. What difference have you made in their lives through that engagement? And what can you understand about them as they choose to give you more information about them and their own situation? Those are the things that are actually important. Well, this one's all about people as well. That's one of the fundamental facts about digital transformation. The technology part is usually relatively easy. If you're not working with your teams and making sure that they can see a better way to get work done, a better way to serve your customers, you've lost that game from the start. We have to change how people are thinking, how they're choosing to work, removing the toil of their day-to-day life and showing them a better path to serve those customers. If you can do that, you will be successful in your digital transformation efforts. Well, considering we're standing here at Finovate and I've seen some of the demos inside, it would be really easy for me to say generative AI or some kind of chat GPT, but I'm actually going to go back to reg tech. We're a highly regulated industry after all. I think we can be doing much better to respond to the really needed oversight that those bodies are trying to give us and work better with them. And if we can do a better job at that, we'll be doing the thing that we need to do, which is caring for the data that the customers entrust with us. It was never our data to start with. And so I would say, look to the vendors that are playing in that reg tech space, because I actually find that super fascinating and interesting. They're solving a really good problem there.